After almost 4.5 years with the Samsung Galaxy S10e as my phone, 5 years after its release date and 2 years without major software updates, I upgraded to the Samsung Galaxy S24. Welcome to Timeheim. This channel is actually mainly about watches, but I mean, this shows the time too, right? So, without wasting your time, I'm going to quickly give you my first impressions of the Samsung Galaxy S24, the regular one. Going from the S10e to the S24, you definitely feel the step up. You get that new phone feeling. It looks more modern, feels more premium, the bezels are significantly thinner. But I must say it wasn't a huge upgrade, not for 5 years. The difference when I upgraded from my iPhone 7 to the S10e was much more noticeable, but that was probably also because I went from iOS to Android. But phones don't change as fast as they did back then. This time you even lose some features, mainly the headphone jack and the expandable storage via microSD. Towards the end of my usage of the S10e, I rarely used the headphone jack, so I'm not too sad about that one. I also didn't struggle too much with storage, but I wish they kept the microSD slot, because that helps extend the life cycle of the phone. For my S10e I had 128GB and now I doubled that to 256. One of my favorite upgrades is actually the 3x zoom camera. If I take a picture of the blackboard during a lecture at university, the quality is now so much better than on the S10e, thanks to that separate zoom camera. However, if you had the regular S10 or S10 Plus, this won't be a huge upgrade for you either, because you already have a separate zoom camera. I like the design of the S24, though I think it's a bit more boring than the S10e. Ever since the S20, the design has progressed with some minor tweaks every year, with the S23 and S24 being the most similar generations since the S20. Compared to the S10e, the Galaxy S24 is a bit thicker, though it has a larger battery of 4000 mAh compared to 3100 mAh. The difference in battery life is huge, though that has more to do with the fact that the battery on my old phone has degraded over time. I remember that back when I got it, I was very pleased with the battery life. Let's look at the screen. The screen is also larger, mainly because of the larger body, but also because of the slimmer and uniform borders and the smaller selfie camera. The screen can be incredibly bright, which together with the louder speakers makes it much easier to show something to a friend if you're outside. The refresh rate of 120Hz is nice, but I must admit that I don't really care, and I always have my phone on power saving mode. My plan is to keep this S24 at least as long as my old S10e. What's awesome is that they have increased the software support to 7 years compared to the 3 years on the S10 line. That's why I'm trying to take good care of the battery and make sure it doesn't degrade too quickly. I have set up a limit to only charge to 80% because charging the battery to its maximum capacity degrades it quicker. You don't have to do this, but I thought it would be interesting to share. Two other things I miss from the S10e are the 3 navigation bars, which they've weirdly decided to remove, and I also miss swiping down the fingerprint reader to access the control panel. But at the same time, I love the ultrasonic fingerprint reader. It's at least as fast as the one on the S10e, and it looks so futuristic. Definitely prefer that over Face ID. So to sum things up, I'm very pleased with the S24, and I definitely recommend it. I live in Europe, so I unfortunately have the Exynos version, and I'm not too sure I would have been down to pay the full price for the Exynos version, which seems to be worse than the Snapdragon version in every way. There isn't a huge difference now, but in a few years it might start to be noticeable. But luckily I got this phone for 30% off the retail price thanks to a student deal on the Samsung website. So if you are a student, check if there are any good student deals in your country. If the S24 is too expensive for you, the new A55 might be a good option, though I haven't used it myself. So these were my thoughts and impressions of the new Samsung Galaxy S24. If you want to hear more about specs and all the AI features, you will have to find another review, because I don't care too much about all that. Again, this channel is mainly about watches, so if you are interested, it would help me a ton if you subscribed. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.